comes down to the ground, the sun, okay? So those pieces might come, and again, might be in whole, might be in part. So these might be elevator courts, they might support the building. Now courtyards might not come all the way through, and in addition, if you make a hole in the building, if this is the ground and this is lifted up, what's the shape of the hole? Big at the top, small at the bottom, small at the top, big at the bottom, coming through the side, coming through this way. So the strategy for the courtyard, if you look at this condition, and this is a plan now, but if you look at this condition and plan, so what we're trying to understand is what the configuration of the courtyard might be. It could be almost anything, but that's another IQ issue in terms of why it is what it is. If it's bigger at the top, more sun, less sun as you go through. If the sun is shining in this direction and you want to prevent that from coming in, or you want to increase that, so the shape of the court has everything to do with the position of the sun. You want it hot, you want it cold, whatever it is. But what we're talking about are big organizational features that might determine the other pieces of the building. Because we're talking about how you move vertically, and we're also talking about, in some ways, how you move laterally. There's another, laterally meaning this way. There's another thing which is interesting, and this is just an option. It depends on how you work on a project. It depends how you put pieces together. In other words, we were talking about a lot of pieces, so if you say this is a piece. Do you know Machu Picchu?
Yes.
Yeah, Machu Picchu. So you see the walls in Machu Picchu? So to make the walls, so the pieces, these are the blocks of Machu Picchu. You know what I mean? But the question is, when you put pieces of the building together, sections of the building, I don't know what this is, I don't know what this is, I don't know what this is, but sections of the building together, do they fit? Or this is a way to look at that subject. Yesterday we were talking about a lot of pieces, so how do you do it? In other words, do you put the pieces together like this? There's another way to do it, which is this is a piece, this is a piece, this is a piece, and then you're going to have to connect these pieces with some other, in other words, disparate pieces that have different configurations, or pieces that fit together. So this is a hypothesis, and again, it could be this, or it could be this. There's another way to look at it. If you look at most buildings probably belong to a discussion. Can you see? Yeah? Maybe you know all this anyway, you don't need to see. This is supposed to be an orthogonal condition. I was just talking to a friend of mine last night on the phone, blah, 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 for many hours. He lives in Vienna.
Wolf Brecht, they know him.
Yeah, okay. And he used to, but he had an interesting argument for eraser IQ. So what he said, he used to have a colleague called Helmut Schwinsky, and they make a drawing, let's say. This is a drawing, okay? This is the drawing. It could be a plan, it could be a section, and they use the same drawing for 3-4 projects, okay? So this is a little bit funny, and part of the argument is to be a little bit facetious and to be a little bit funny, as opposed to saying, oh, each project I do, I make a different diagram or a different strategy. So what he was trying to say is, I use the same one every time, So if you start with an idea like that, or you start with an idea like that, so it's actually possible. Does anybody have a piece of paper?
Piece of